So
This is
live,
like a pre-show.
yeah, live streaming goes where? We need to put
to-
this into our chat.
Yeah, just go to Night Hacking.
Night hacking, night,
Yeah, we need to. Yeah, we need people to follow.
Hacking. Shoot, Steve on Java. All right, you want?
We have no idea what we are going to talk about, so we will
Yeah,
just.
as usual.
Yeah, we will win it.
How are you? How was it yesterday night? Yeah, I've been there just for a couple minutes.
No, I skipped it.
Yeah, we had this very
It's
late
a
session.
nerds party. People sit in their corners and drink.
All right, so we're online. Okay, so I
No,
will
I'm just
do.
kidding.
No, it was very nice. I really like the Sam Aaron. I saw him at the Geek Out this year, and it was amazing. Like the.
Там прямо stream идет?
Yep. Let's go.
We're there?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You can see us?
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Wow.
The one bald guy, one
Wow.
nice hair
El
guy.
Gruvissimo! Woo!
That was creepy.
That was El Gruvissimo. He's always creepy.
I know. So what's the @ slash?
Yeah. It should complete it for you.
Slash all
No,
or
the other way around. Slash @
slash?
maybe.
No.
No,
I
@
think-
slash. Yeah, @ slash
@
all. That's for sure.
Oh.
So it's even worse than the Android one, huh?
Yeah.
Right. Is it too quiet? I can hear myself from the speakers. Let's try to ramp it up a little bit. It's good? All right. You and the rest of the world. We've been watched
And
online.
thousand people
Thousands
from
of-
internet. So, okay, so
yeah,
we
yeah.
I think we can greet the people in internet.
Hi, people in
in
the internet. And we can go live.
Yes,
It was
we
a good
already
pre-show.
live. We already
No,
live.
but record it.
Yes,
that was a
record this.
pre-show.
Yeah, let's record
Let's
this.
do the show now. You remember your line in English now? Good evening, good morning, and all that.
Okay, so we'll try. But you the host here, right? Or we're doing
no,
like
it's
this.
your line.
All
Yeah, I
right,
cannot take
okay.
it from you.
Hello and welcome from Java 1 2016 from San Francisco, California. Going to you live is Jay Baruch and Gamusa Viktor.
No,
and
but that wasn't your line.
yeah, my line was
Do it
good
in
morning.
Russian. Just do
Okay.
it in Russian. Seriously.
Добрый день, добрый вечер, доброе утро, доброй ночи. It was in Russian, meaning добрый.
Meaning добрый, yeah.
Yeah, meaning добрый. Okay, so good morning, good evening, good night, good day, good afternoon, wherever you are, because the people all over the internet, and we're streaming live, or maybe some people watching us recording. I don't know why you would do this. But actually, like lots of people watching in recording, and yeah, it's gonna
So
be.
anyhow, that was a really screwed up opening.
That's fine. That's all right. Maybe some people like me didn't wake up yet after yesterday. One of the hottest events of the Java 1 is the party one, catch your Pokemons and stuff. Too many Pokemons was yesterday, but yeah, today we're gonna talk about
Let's
real
talk
stuff,
serious stuff.
serious stuff. And
There are 3 things that are hot in this season.
yes,
Sam Aaron.
no. So microservices, DevOps,
No,
and Sam
Sam
Aaron
Aaron, yeah.
on the parties. So
Yeah.
if you wanna see the Sam Aaron, you probably can see him next at the Joker. But
Conference,
today
right.
we're going to talk about DevOps and microservices.
All right,
So
let's
I'm
do
going to
that.
represent microservices. Baruch going to represent DevOps.
I don't know how can you separate those two between two people because they are very, very much connected.
Yeah.
Okay, and one of the common things between microservices and DevOps is that no one have any idea what they are and can define them. Right?
And many people has their own definition
Right.
based on their understanding or based on their use case, on the based on the way how they do these things, like
Right.
these microservices things or DevOps things.
So what is microservice?
So microservice is the, in essence, it's just a architectural style of and organizational style of building software, building teams, and delivering software, I guess.
So I mean that means that I need to write small classes.
No, not necessarily. The microservices mean that you actually need to build smaller subsystems with isolated functionality, and that particular subsystem needs to be responsible on one particular thing. So
Yeah. So I think there are two major concerns here. First is the release procedure, which has to do with DevOps that we are going to talk in a second, and the second is the interoperability between those modules, right?
Yes.
So when you had a monolith, it's very simple. They're all in the same, all the classes, all the functionalities in the same class path. You just call methods, and you're all fine. You have some dependency management, probably Spring, and you just inject modules one into another, and everything looks great. Now with microservices, stop checking your phone every couple of seconds.
no, I'm just checking
Yeah, I
our
know, you
followers.
need immediate positive feedback. You
Yes,
need to see how many
yes.
people are enjoying that.
Yes,
So
people
stop-
are enjoying that.
Okay, good. Now stop doing that. So
It's alive. It's alive. This is what we need to do. It's a live show.
all right, all right. But my question is, when the microservices architecture is applied and you have those microservices deployed, they are deployed as isolated applications.
Yep.
And they need to interact with each other somehow.
Yes.
And I guess swap with XML RPC will be the
Yeah.
natural.
Well, do the thing absolutely
was a
well.
joke.
Yes. No, I know.
Ah, okay, good. No, because you were too serious.
It's a sarcasm. So you're
Okay, good.
throwing sarcasm at me, and I'm playing along. So this is why I'm not
Thank you for this clarification. Okay,
sarcasm.
yeah, good. We have this.
We need to have this.
we
Like,
need- yeah. So, how to do it? How we do it right? How can we make this communication between the modules in the microservices world easier?
so one of the patterns is to implement the concept of event store. So microservices, they essentially isolated from each other. However, that might be very common the backbone system that will just one system can publish message, and another system that would be interested in this particular message would sit in there and subscribing for this event. So in this case, the this backbone system, I don't want to call it like a message bus, because in this case people start recalling like enterprise message buses from SOAP and stuff. Yeah, but many other like solutions that people use for that use case. And another option is like a direct call. So some of the system will expose some certain APIs, or they can expose the way how the other system can discover these APIs. And a very natural, I guess, and the de facto standard these days is use like stateless protocol, like HTTP plus REST. So the HTTP uses as a transport, REST uses a way to describe the API, describe the results. And the way how they like publish is they can use like hypermedia to explain, or like to allow to clients to discover what services and what they do, like what they provide.
Well, my problem with using REST APIs and HTTP as a protocol is that HTTP is by definition a text protocol.
Yes.
And when we are talking about modules that need to interop with their internal messaging, using a binary protocol have advantages over a text one.
Yes.
Right. The text here is really an overkill that you don't necessarily need.
Yeah.
So the question
But
is there a more efficient way to make this communication between different modules more efficient by using binary protocols instead of using JSON and other text representations?
I guess if I'm wearing this T-shirt, I need to plug something from Hazelcast. So the way how we're doing this, if our clients they employ the Hazelcast as the backbone of communication into their system, they use Hazelcast clients that each and every client implements Hazelcast open binary protocol, and the payload is binary, and we provide different ways how they can serialize their payload. We also provide the ways how the in one of the serialization format that we support. We also support versioning of messages. So yeah, the binary protocol.
All those features, they are probably supported in the JSON serializers and generally JSON solutions for interoperability as well, right?
Yeah.
So if I take some JSON point ends on both sides, they can do the same. They can version, they can serialize, etc., etc.
But it doesn't solve your problem with text. It's still text protocol.
Here you go. So we get the same level of support for transparent serialization and communication, but we benefit from the fact that we step one level closer to the machine, and instead of sending text around to represent binary data, we actually send binary data itself and make it more efficient.
Yeah, that represents actual objects of domain.
Right. So serialization into text doesn't make much sense when all we need is passing objects around, and then we can use tools like Hazelcast to actually go and do it in the right representation channel, which is a binary representation.
What do you think about what do we think about the concept? So REST essentially, it's because it's based on the document format, and document format because it's HTTP. HTTP, it's a hypertext transfer protocol, and every resource is sort of like a document. But what do you think about like employing the RPC style of communication between services? So instead of just doing the like resource style for accessing data, do like RPC style, like the things like the Apache Thrift or Google gRPC thing. So what do you think about this one?
Yeah, so that's exactly the same. The advantage of using those on top of HTTP is that they provide a binary representation and actually use the right thing for the job, using the right tool for the job, and not abusing those text protocols to work as binary serialization channels.
Okay, but in this case, we sort of losing the we're losing the isolation. So the providers of the service, they need to publish the
schema.
The schema. They need to publish their the client libraries so the other consumers can SDK type of approach. So in this case, we're losing isolation. And
well, I don't think we have any isolation in any way. There is no generic tool that can parse unknown schema and do something meaningful with it. Because the business
at least we have a semantic when we have a published client or published SDK, so at least we have a semantic of the business model.
We have this semantic anyhow. The question is where this knowledge resides.
Yeah.
Right? When we are talking about structures protocols, we have this structure describing what we pass, and when we send just generic JSON files across the wire, we still have this knowledge to reside somewhere.
Yeah.
Because there is a business logic that need to refer to certain fields in this JSON,
yes, of course.
So someone knows the protocol.
Yeah.
And if you break it on the other side, maybe the parser will cope with the change on the other side, but business logic won't cope with the change in anyhow.
Yeah.
So when we change it, change need to be made.
Yeah.
Right? And having the schema make actually fail faster on the changes.
Yeah.
Right, because you won't discover it in runtime. You discover it right when you bundle those protocols together.
Yeah.
And so I would say that in some way having schema full communication channel is more robust than having schemaless one.
Which brings us back to SOAP and XML, where we have a schema inside.
Not that much.
All right, so let's shift this discussion a little bit into from the technology and communication more into the people approach. So now, system doesn't build systems. So people build systems.
And as you know, the technology is perfect, and
the people
suck.
Exactly. So the thing is, for many people say that the microservices concept, you cannot just bring it to every organization. So it's not only architectural style for building software, but it's also organizational style that resides in the company. So you have a multiple, I'm not saying isolated, but they are, how it's called, like a self-sufficient teams that they're working on the piece of functionality, piece of the huge system, and they also working together with other systems. So you need to communicate, and need to deliver the software. They need to install software. That brings us to DevOps. Is it like a person Is
Well,
it?
So
What is
yeah,
this?
yeah. So you're completely right. A microservices approach complicates delivery a lot.
Yes.
Right, that's the problem. Instead of having one product with a very clear release procedure, when it is released, how it is released,
Like a
wh-
big
what
chunk
is the
sent
what
on the
is
CD.
what is the versioning, how you test it, how you QA it. That's all very clear. Now we have a whole mess of tiny products that have their own approaches to QA, to testing. They
And
have
the different languages, maybe.
different languages, different stacks, different release procedures, different release dates, different versioning schemes. They are just as switching from one product company to many products, many very different products company. And that requires a cultural change. And this is exactly DevOps. So DevOps is not a person, DevOps is not a position, DevOps is not a set of tools, DevOps is a culture, DevOps is a behavioral style when we are talking
Which
about...
is similar to microservice, I would
And
say.
that's why the microservices and DevOps and Samaron all come together,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. It's a way of life. It's style.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
You need to dance for when someone is coding.
Oh,
So
yes.
This is a way of doing.
And that's a cultural thing, and it means that if you want to streamline the release, and you have to streamline the release with to provide microservices, you need to behave differently. You
Okay.
cannot have this process of siloed development, testing, and operations, and just throw the piece of software when you're done with
Agile.
it from one.
So it needs to be agile.
Yes, from
So-
actually, yeah, that's another fancy name for agile. It means that everybody need to work together, which essentially means everybody need to be able to do everything,
Okay.
right?
What's the common like a pattern for DevOps delivering software in the microservice world these days? Like I know you guys doing lots of like DevOps these days. You know.
That's an interesting
Technology-wise-
question, and I'm not sure there is an answer for something common.
Okay, so
There are
we have
different
like
tools.
how many we have like a 15-20 minutes for this session. You spent 3 hours last week
Yes, exactly. Right.
explaining DevOps to fellow developers
Yeah,
in
so we went,
Moscow.
yeah,
Jug.
we went to a Java user group in Moscow. We had like almost 300 people who came to learn what DevOps is.
Didn't you still fail to explain
and
after
it took
that?
us 3 hours, and some of the people got it.
Okay, that's good. That's good. At least some of them. Okay,
Yeah.
so can you like give like an executive summary of the things that you and Kirill what you
I
delivered?
think we can talk about the concepts, not
Yes,
the software.
absolutely.
Software changes. Every
Yep.
3 months, there is a new shiny framework that claims to support this culture of DevOps better.
Okay.
And the fact that it's fast moving actually brings us better tools. It's a good thing. It's not stagnate. It's not
Yeah.
even standardized on anything. There are tons of different things, and you can choose what feels right. But the concepts are there.
Okay.
So one of the concept is everybody should do DevOps. That means that everybody should know software, and that means that the hardware should become software.
So in this case, you need to fire admins and teach your developers to do admin tasks.
We need to teach everybody how to treat hardware as software.
Okay.
It's a learning curve for everybody, because the developers need to understand how hardware works, and the admins need to learn how to write code. So
Okay.
it's an effort that comes from both ways. I would generally agree with your assumption that it's easier for the developers to code hardware than for admins to code hardware,
Yeah. Software.
because in
versa.
code, right? Because generally the developers, it's code, right? So it's different concept a little bit. It might be different language.
Yes.
It might be some different structures.
YAML.
But generally, a lot of Ruby, by the way, right?
Yeah.
But it's code anyhow. when the sysadmin guys who used to play with actual hardware now need to learn something completely different.
Yeah,
so it's
how to provision in the cloud, how to
Yeah.
provision using like these different tools to.
I don't know if that's enough to just fire them even before they try.
No, of course
But,
not. It was like very loud statements, and I guess
Yeah,
like
but
all
it is-
admins gonna find me and try to kill me.
They will. Those are
Eventually.
usually huge, bald Russian guys that can actually take on you if they are three together.
Yes.
They have a chance.
They have a chance.
Right.
Only if they wear the 5 years old sweater.
Right. So what
But
I mean,
it's yeah.
so what I mean, yeah, it's a big change for everybody, and probably for the admins more bigger than for.
Okay,
for
so
software
now we have
developers.
this concept: everything is a code, right?
Yes.
So everything is a code. What next? So now we have the trained the admins that understand what the developer's doing, like
Right.
in terms of
Yes.
software, how
Yes.
they writing this like interaction between the systems, etc. So what's next? So now,
So next step will be automation.
okay,
Now, automation is another pillar for successful DevOps procedures. Because when we are talking about microservices,
Yep.
that means that we always release software. And I spoke about it in my BOF. We talk about liquid
yes,
software.
yeah. You
Um,
can actually talk about this a little bit because not everyone joined our yesterday. It was like a huge success. Like
Yeah, no, it was packed room. It was
yeah,
full room.
I actually like was very surprised that many people come to this BOF like at the 8
It was at
p.m.
8 p.m.
Yeah, it was a
and there
great
was
session.
a party going on.
Yeah.
And we have like full room.
Yeah.
We had like 4 people.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
on the stage. 3 of them were on the stage.
No. We have 4 in the audience and 3 on stage.
Yeah.
The speakers were actually outnumbered by the audience, which is like completely mad.
Yeah. So, and one of the topics of yesterday is how we're gonna deliver software in the future. And
Yeah, and one of the concepts that we in JFrog believe is this concept of the liquid software. And what we actually mean by that is that the software is being released and delivered constantly. There are no more release trains as we know it when we have this process of having versions that people can refer to.
So you-
but instead, the features are delivered as they developed during the through this DevOps
Pipeline,
procedure
yep.
to microservices.
So
which
you're
are
saying
deployed.
that okay? So eventually Java 9 will be not the Java Next will with modules will
Exactly.
flow into our system.
Right, and you will.
if they will follow
and
like
we
liquid
won't
software
have
thing.
any new blog posts about strains from Mark. No, none.
No more
because-
trains, no more
because there
trains.
there will be, of course, deadlines for features, but we won't need to wait now for Java 9 to get released to get something which is perfectly works today.
Yeah.
Because now, let's say, the Jigsaw is the bottleneck for Java 9, but the other features we could use,
Yes.
but we can't because there is this rigid thing of version that everything is released together.
Yeah.
And what we envision is no more.
Okay, so let's like bring this like idea into the microservices. How it will work in organization that employ the microservice at the pattern of building the systems, and they employ this DevOps culture with the concept of the liquid software.
I think it works very nicely because it means that those pieces of your big software, which are different modules, will be constantly updated to provide more functionality.
Yes.
And the one that depends on them will learn about this functionality when it receives its counterpart.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm learning a new language and I'm ready to speak in this new language with you. In a second, you are ready.
Okay.
And that may be the other way around, right? We need to be able to adjust to a constant change in each other when we integrate.
I understand. Okay, so I understand this idea of living software, and I understand this concept of DevOps and Microsoft. But what about scalability? So now we're talking about features, delivering features. What about how we can resist like a growing audience? So we design these microservices like like you guys did with the bin tray, and now like people start using bin tray more and more. So how are we going to solve the problem of scalability in microservice world?
One of the reasons we believe that we had to design in Bintray in the way we designed in microservices is scalability. One of the biggest advantages of having functionality separated into different functional units is the fact that across our application, different parts have different non-functional scalability requirements.
Okay.
So, for example, in Bintray, we have the download center, the download server, which have to constantly stand a huge load.
Especially when the Chinese hackers try to
Oh no, just because
try to upload something or download something from the
but generally, even when very popular packages like Spring is distributed from Bintray, Bintray stands a huge load.
Yep.
Okay, it's the biggest repository of Java components in the world. Naturally, it stands a huge load.
Yes.
So the download center should be able to be crazy scalable and relatively simple.
Yes.
Other parts of the application have different requirements. They might have more evolved functionality, but less of a scalability requirements. And let's say the stats and logs, they have, and business insights, they have a relatively complicated logic of how to determine who downloaded your software.
Okay.
Was it a robot? Was it a person?
So you're running some sort of like a jobs overnight to
which
like
organizations they came from, and this service, it's not even real time. It has like 5 minutes delay.
Yeah.
You will get logs, live logs that will actually be a 5 minutes ago
so
picture.
it's a batch.
Because we need to because there is time to process it somehow.
Yes.
Right. So and that's a completely different requirement from a computing point of view, from scalability point of view, etc., etc. Right. So it's a different story.
They're trying to cut us
Yeah,
already.
they're gonna
Okay.
cut us, but no, come on.
We already took over the stage. Yeah.
We already did.
So one of the things.
And that means that we can develop different modules as microservices with different requirements in mind. And then we can have 500 servers of the download service microservice and 50 of the statistics and logs.
Yep.
And this is all elastic and goes back and forth, shrinking and expanding on demand, but only the piece that needs to be shrinked or expanded.
Yeah, based on the load. So one of the things that we recently actually like learned from many of our customers that Hazelcast actually helped them scale the microservices because ability to embed the library into their product that allows them to scale their product without thinking about the all these like underlying things. So they can if they need to like bring more instances of their machine and these instances can for example there's one of the consumers of the Hazelcast that use this to talk in other instances about new artifacts and stuff. So yeah, in this case, this is like very interesting choice in terms of external technology, in terms of scalability, and plays very well in this like a microservices architecture and. Because it's embedded, so you don't need to actually maintain separate infrastructure. So it's going to be also like a part of the build, part of the automation part, and this shrinking or expanding and shrinking. It's a part of the tools that also can be automated based on the load.
That's exactly the part.
Okay.
And the complicated part about those builds, about those pipelines that your liquid software is going through, is actually knowing what's going on.
Yes.
Because if we don't have versions, it doesn't mean that we have less of the
visibility or
informational pieces. It means that we have more. Something is being constantly releases.
Yes.
And of course, what we need is much more metadata about what we have.
Yes.
Each and every part of this microservices world is a different piece of software that we need to know exactly how it was built, where it came from, how to trace it back to the source.
Okay, so that brings us to another topic that we discussed yesterday, but I guess this is a whole new story that we're going to talk. Or no, unfortunately, we don't have a recording from yesterday talk because we have very nice ideas that we flow around. But I think it's time to wrap up. So
yeah, we can take it to our podcast, by the way.
Yes, we can, but in our podcast we don't have any limits. But here in the conference, the time is.
They try to cut us out.
Yeah.
So just to be said, our normal podcast recording is 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
It's regular average.
Yeah, in average.
Yeah.
And what is going on here? We're under half an hour and they cut us off. I think it's outrageous, but what we can do.
Yes. Once again, I remind you that was Baruch Sadogursky from JFrog.
And Viktor Gamov from Hazelcast.
And we came to you live from Java 1, Night Hacking. Stay tuned for other speakers.
And us again.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter. Baruch, Edgar Musa. See you soon. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
And we're off recording, and now we can start the post show.
Post show. Okay, so let's read mean tweets.
How popular we were. Let's check how popular we are.
Yeah, let's okay, so let's see our chat. So the people saying, "Oh, a nice haircut. Thank you very much." Okay, translation, YouTube streaming, blah blah blah. Okay.
Yeah, okay, people watched.
Okay, people watched.
We're just checking how popular we are. That's important.
Yeah, bunch of tweets. Yeah. So stay tuned for who's going to be next. Do we need to announce next speaker?
I have no
wow,
idea.
that's super nice.
I don't know if we even have Yolanda said the schedule is completely screwed. So she knows. Are you the next interviewer? No, we're just watching us. We have an audience.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Should we say something smart? People are actually expecting us to say something smart.
I don't know. Like we already said everything that's smart. At least we need to recharge for a couple more minutes to say some smart. So that's why we need to crack in jokes. I don't know. Like I was wondering,
let's run some jokes. Do you know any
if anyone
jokes?
Actually watching? Oh, Java jokes
about Duke. Do you know any jokes about Duke?
Java jokes. I don't know, man.
Two engineers.
How many Java developers need to change the light bulb? Do you know this?
No.
So essentially 0 because it's a hardware problem.
Yeah. But now with DevOps you cannot say that anymore.
Why? Because it's not a hardware. You cannot automate it. You cannot automate it.
No, but you cannot blame the hardware guys now for if something doesn't work.
Okay.
You need to be able to take it by yourself.
IoT.
Here you go.
IoT.
Let's embed JVM in every light bulb, and it will replace itself. Where is Yolanda? We want to give this.
You need to stop.